In this video, I want to do a little bit more with some advanced formatting, some ways to make some quick changes to your workbooks here. So one thing I want to talk about is replacing text. So if you've gone through your worksheet, so maybe you spent all this time importing your data, and notice how we have the abbreviation of ST for street here, or AVE for AV, and so on. So maybe you've entered all this data and then you find out that actually you're not supposed to use abbreviations. You need to use the full word street or the full word avenue or something like that. And it's like, well, there's 30 stores here. I have to go through and manually change those. Well, you don't have to. So there's a shortcut that you can use there that will replace the same word with another word throughout the entire document if you want to do so. So what you're going to go here is on the Home tab. You're going to look, I got to move my picture here, the one that says editing, and then the one that's the magnifying glass is your find and select. So you're going to search that one. You're going to actually click replace here instead. And I'm going to replace the abbreviation ST for street, and I would like to replace it with the entire word street instead. And then what I'm going to do is go ahead, I'm going to hit just find next. And you can see that it's showing me the box where it first appears. And if I want to, I can go ahead and replace that, and it replaces that street. And I can hit find next again, and we'll go the next time that happens, and I can hit replace. Now, maybe you don't want to replace all of them. So I hit find next. Maybe I say, oh, this one, I don't want to replace that one for whatever reason. I can just skip it. And I hit find next again, and it goes to this next one here, and I can replace that one. If I know that I want to replace all of them, what I can do is just hit replace all, and it will make the rest of the changes for me. So they made 4 replacements for me, and I don't have to go through every single one. So that's nice, right? If you make an error somewhere, or if you know you have to change some sort of notation throughout an entire document, you can go ahead and do that. So same thing, if I want to change the lane abbreviation to lane, I can go ahead and hit find next and do them one at a time, or I can just hit replace all, and they made all 5 changes for me. So when I'm done, I'll hit close. And again, that's a nice little shortcut. So that's one way to make quick changes to your workbook if you have to make the same change over and over again. You can also do those things based on formatting. So for instance, let's just change this. I'm going to make this column, this left column here, and I'm going to change the fill color there to white for the background, for instance. Or actually, let's make it something that you can see a little bit easier. Why don't we make it, we'll just do a light gray color. Perfect. So you can also find and replace formatting as well. So if I go back to my find and replace here, I can go ahead and hit the options button. And then I can also go ahead and change other things as well. So here, I'm not going to worry about any word replacement. I want to change formatting. So I'm going to go click the formatting box on the right. I can just even choose the format from the cell. So I can go ahead and click that one if I want to, and I can replace with a different format instead. Maybe I'm going to change that fill color to be orange. And again, I can go ahead and sort of make these changes here. I'm going to replace this one, for instance. Find next, I'll replace that one, for instance, and can kind of keep going through and replace them all if I want to. So I can even replace formattings. And I can do it, I clicked the cell that I was looking at just to kind of use that formatting that was already there. But you could also go and just click, anything that was this color would get changed over as well. So that find and replace tool is really helpful, not just for words, but also for formatting if you want to kind of change everything at once. Maybe you don't like that light gray color. Everything light gray needs to now be orange for whatever reason. Then you know that one change will happen and occur throughout the whole document. Again, which is really nice. Okay. As I mentioned before too, we can also change the themes. So if you go to page layout, you can change the theme here. So we've been using the standard office theme, but you can go ahead and change to other themes. So you can see the background is changing there. I'm gonna pick gallery. I like that one. So I'm just gonna change it here. And it will update your colors. So again, those themes are basically color coordinated. So they kind of choose colors that go together to help you there. And just making your workbook look nice. And again, you can just kind of play through with different themes and what you think would be best. Now, you can also have customized themes. So some corporations may have their own themes that they're using, and they can go through and use that as well. If you go to colors here, you could actually scroll or to the bottom and see all of them, but you can also click customize colors, and then you could choose your own colors instead and name that. So maybe that's going to be, Stephanie's theme, right? So I can go ahead and create my own theme that maybe I'm going to use for all my presentations on a certain topic or in a certain department. And then I can save that, and I will find those colors here as well. So I can go ahead and change that. The different custom versions that I've used. So you're able to play around with those themes there too. The other thing that's nice to do is to use conditional formatting. So for instance, if you look back here, I was manually changing all my negatives to red, right? So it's kind of cumbersome to make sure you don't miss something, right? You go through the whole document, you're manually changing all those negatives to red. That's a little bit difficult. So we can use something called conditional formatting to make that change for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all my cells that are relevant where I'd want to do this. And then I can go to conditional formatting here, and I can hit highlight cell rules. And again, there's all these different rules that you can do, but the one that I'm going to use is less than. So I want to say that, hey, anything less than 0, let's make this, and you can change this over here. So you can pick some predetermined ones, or you can go ahead and do a custom format if you want to create your own color coding. So again, you can click a customized version, or you can just pick something that's already predetermined. And I hit OK, and notice how that those cells automatically changed when they were less than 0. So I don't have to manually go through and make them all red on my own. I can go ahead and change those. And again, you can kind of play around with that if you want to make something, greater than, maybe anything greater than 0. I don't know, I want to be green. And again, it will make that change. So that's really nice, that it saves you a lot of time there as well. So we can go through and do that. And again, I encourage you to kind of play around with that conditional formatting. So there's lots of cell rules here. So you can choose less than, greater than, or do in between 2 values, or equal to a value, a date occurring, duplicate values, a word instead. So if you want a certain word highlighted, for instance, we can do that. So for instance, let's go down here and look at my different months. So maybe I would like to highlight, I'm just going to do it right here, the top 5% of sales. And I would like to highlight that in green. So what I can do here is I can select, and I'm just going to select, I guess we'll select all of them, my main months here, and I can go ahead and do a conditional formatting and do a top to bottom rule. So here you could do top 10%, top 10 items. Let's just do top 10% for now. I don't want those in red. That doesn't seem right to me. I think I'm going to make those in yellow, just something to highlight them, and I can click OK. So we'll make this our top 10%, for instance. You can also update that. So if I go to manage rules, I can see that I do have a rule. You can have create rules here and then edit them as well. Let me go back and highlight my information. So you can see here, once I highlight, it does show me that rule. So you do have a top 10 rule there, and I can go ahead and edit this. So I did top 10%, but you could go ahead and make this 5% or another bit of information as well. And then we can go ahead and apply that appropriately. So you can see that it did change a little bit there. So you can use that conditional formatting, not just for exact values or less than or greater than. You can use it for dates. You can use it for top percent, low, bottom, bottom tier as well. And you can do it for words too. So for instance, I can go ahead and look for text. So anytime I see that word green, maybe we have it filled with green, right? So you cannot just highlight numbers or data, but you can do specific words, dates, and so on. So that's really helpful. And again, you just want to make sure you select either your whole document or select the cells where that's going to be relevant. So go ahead and use that feature too.